I'm concerned now that we've gone away from president after president saying that Iran can never have a nuclear weapon to the words of, well, Iran shouldn't be able to have one at least for 10 years. Or if they do get one before 10 years, we'll know about it a year in advance. I mean, that's a fundamental change in the direction of negotiations with this hostile regime. And that's the other thing in my limited time I want to point out. I think that those of us who are voting for this bill today are voting in large part because of a distrust we have for the supreme leader and the regime in Iran. This is not about the Iranian people. There are tens of millions of Iranians that I believe are concerned with this deal as well. They're concerned that this is going to enable the Iranian government to continue to fund terror throughout the world through the Iran terror network. They're funding even Hamas, a natural enemy, to destabilize the region. We need to worry about what the Prime Minister from Israel said just a few months ago here in this chamber. This represents a dire threat. Does anyone think that Israel can stand by on their own and allow Iran to continue to be unfettered and potentially move forward with a nuclear program? I don't think so. But I also want to make sure that the Iranian people know that we're also concerned that we have a president who's willing to negotiate with the regime, who is guilty of human rights violations, who's guilty of spreading terror through the world, who's guilty of meddling in the affairs of other Middle Eastern nations. And we're sitting along the sidelines and saying, well, maybe we can still move this deal through because at least knowing when Iran gets a nuclear weapon is better than the current state. I think the current state's working. Sanctions are working. Pressure on Iran to respect human rights, to get out of the terror business is very important. The last slide I want to give you, I wanted to spend more time on. How on earth does anyone think that a nation that is not intent on launching a nuclear missile at some time would invest in this sort of infrastructure to reach different parts of the globe? It's only a matter of time. Now we've heard that maybe it'll only be 10 years, or maybe it'll be a year from when we find out about it. But make no mistake about it, if Iran is left alone, they're going to have the ability to deliver this sort of terror anywhere in the world, and that's why I'll be supporting the bill, and hopefully we can defeat any bad deal that could come from the administration. Thank you, Mr. President.